Welcome to this lesson. So in this lesson, we'll be looking at another real world problem, that is the floor cleaning problem. Okay, so let's look at the next example. Okay, this one, but this example has been successfully implemented in the real world. And so we already have an AI vacuum cleaner and it actually works. It's in the market, so people are buying it. So there's a product that actually cleans without the help of a human being. Okay, so an automated vacuum cleaner. So I'm sure you've seen vacuum cleaners like this one. Okay, so it's quite cheap for what it can do, and it's already out in the market. So how do they work? They have AI code inside them. So this is the outer layer of the vacuum cleaner, right? But it has an AI code inside them. They have chips inside which has code inside, and that code makes the robots, that's this robot, it makes it move according to their sensors and clean the relevant parts of the floor as well. So it directs our robot. Okay, so the diagram of such a program would probably look like this. Okay, so this is our AI vacuum cleaner function. That is AI vacuum cleaner, which is pretty much what we see when you buy the product, and then the sensors, and this is the environment. The environment is probably the floor, furniture, etc. But the sensors in this case could be the cameras that will help them sense where the dust is. Okay, it can analyze which part of the floor is dusty and which is clean. It can just focus on the dirtier parts of the floor, and then the wheels that it uses to move with, and so on and so forth. The actuators in our case will be the duster. Okay, the duster that is attached to the robot, its robotic arms if that particular vacuum cleaner needs one, the sack it uses to store the dirt, and so on and so forth. The environment in this case would be the floor. Obviously, it would be the floor. It needs to also look out for the furniture so that it doesn't hit on furniture, and the people who walk on the floor so it doesn't hit on them as well. So it needs to sense that there's an obstacle in its way and it needs to take a detour. Okay, so it needs to move the other way so that it doesn't hit the obstacle. And then it also needs to look out for solid objects lying on the floor, that is objects that are in dust, etc. So it needs to identify between dust, that is the stuff that needs to be cleaned up, and stuff that's just lying on the floor because it's lying on the floor and doesn't have to be cleaned up. Okay, so it needs to analyze all of these things, and it'll use the sensor to get all this information. Okay, so all of this comes under the label of environment. So it'll analyze all the environment using the sensor. So now our AI function, that is a vacuum function, okay, let's call it the vacuum function, it'll use the sensors to take the input from the floor. Okay, so it'll scan where the dust is, where it isn't, what needs to be moved around, where the cleaner needs to go, what it needs to go around, where it needs to stop, where it needs to take a detour, where it needs to keep moving, and so on and so forth. So it will take all of this information from the sensors. Okay, so while scanning, it will notice a human leg walking towards the robot. So if it notices something like that, then the vacuum function will ask the wheels to turn in the other direction. Okay, so it will redirect the wheels to move in a different direction so as to not hit the human leg. Okay, it will also have code for collision detection as well. If the robot, for example, collides with something because it didn't have the time to take a detour, okay, because maybe the obstacle was moving at a very fast pace, it just came out of nowhere or something like that. So if it just collides with something, then the vacuum function will tell the robot to move in the other direction so that it doesn't keep trying to move past the obstacle. Okay, so it will ask it to turn around so that it can move in the other direction. Okay, so this is how it will maneuver automatically on the floor. So this is how the vacuum cleaner as such would work, similar to how it would if we were to use it. Okay, if we were to physically hold it and move it around, that's how we would move it around. So that's how the vacuum cleaner would automatically move and dust and so on and so forth. Okay, so then the cameras and the sensors will pick up where the dust is, and when it senses any dust on the floor, the vacuum function will direct the duster to start dusting on that particular spot. Okay, so that's how the whole thing will theoretically work. So that's it for our vacuum cleaner function. That's it for our AI vacuum cleaner. So that's a full-fledged vacuum cleaner, so you don't have to hire someone to clean your room anymore because you have an automated solution doing it. So this is how AI, artificial intelligence, helps you in the real world. It makes mandatory human functions non-mandatory. Okay, so it makes our lives so much easier. Now you don't have to hire a maid, or you don't have to do it yourself and waste time. Okay, so you save a lot of time, you save money, and you have peace of mind because your room is clean. So this is how AI helps in the real world. So that's it for this lesson. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.